In central China, there is a wall of concrete so large it can be seen from space on a clear satellite pass. And engineers don't just inspect it, they measure it down to the millimeter. This isn't just the largest hydroelectric dam ever built, it's one of the most heavily monitored pieces of infrastructure on Earth. If this structure were to fail, the consequences would be almost unimaginable. Not because of war, not because of sabotage, but because it holds back nearly 40 billion cubic meters of water on one of the most powerful rivers in the world. This is the Three Gorges Dam, spanning the Yangtze River in Hubei Province, China. It is the largest hydroelectric power station on Earth by installed capacity, and it represents one of the boldest attempts in human history to control a river that once defined and devastated a civilization. Scratching the surface. The Yangtze River is the third longest river in the world, stretching more than 6,300 kilometers across China. For centuries, it was also one of the most destructive. Some of the deadliest floods in modern history occurred along this river, including the catastrophic 1931 floods that killed hundreds of thousands and displaced millions. Entire regions were swallowed. Crops vanished. Disease followed. For generations, controlling the Yangtze was considered both a necessity and an impossibility. The solution China ultimately chose was radical. Build a structure large enough to tame the river's seasonal surges and transform its surface into electricity. Construction of the Three Gorges Dam officially began in 1994. The main structure was completed in 2006. The reservoir began filling shortly after, and the final major generators were commissioned in 2012. The dam itself is a concrete gravity dam approximately 185 meters tall and 2,335 meters long. Behind it stretches a reservoir roughly 600 kilometers in length, with a total storage capacity of about 39 billion cubic meters of water. Its power station contains 32 main turbines rated at 700 megawatts each, plus 2 smaller units, giving it a total installed capacity of 22,500 megawatts. In strong hydrological years, it's generated over 1,000 terawatt hours of electricity, though annual output varies depending on rainfall. By installed capacity, it's the largest hydroelectric facility in the world. But raw numbers only tell part of the story: how the dam was built. Before concrete could be poured, engineers had to divert the Yangtze River itself. Massive cofferdams were constructed to redirect the flow in stages, allowing sections of the main dam to rise from the riverbed. The project required approximately 27 million cubic meters of concrete and nearly 500,000 tons of steel. At peak construction, tens of thousands of workers were involved. The turbines, each weighing thousands of tons, were installed with extraordinary precision. Generator rotors the size of small buildings were lowered into place and aligned so precisely that even microscopic imbalance could not be tolerated. By the time the final generators came online, the Yangtze had been permanently transformed. The river no longer surged freely through the Three Gorges. It moved through spillways, turbines, and control gates, engineered to regulate its power. What emerged was not just a dam. It was a complete reconfiguration of one of the world's great rivers. Why China built it. The Three Gorges Dam was built for 3 primary reasons: flood control, power generation, and navigation. Flood control was central to the project's justification. The reservoir can retain tens of billions of cubic meters of floodwater, reducing peak surges before they reach major population centers downstream, including cities such as Wuhan. Power generation was equally critical. With 22,500 megawatts of installed capacity, the dam produces more electricity than many nations generate in total. This output reduces reliance on coal-fired power plants and supports China's vast industrial economy. Navigation was the third pillar. Before the dam, the upper Yangtze was dangerous and difficult for large vessels. After the reservoir filled, water levels rose significantly. significantly, allowing ships of up to 10,000 tons to travel much farther inland. Cargo capacity along this corridor increased dramatically. To move vessels past the 185-meter height difference, engineers built a massive ship lock system and later a vertical ship lift capable of raising vessels approximately 113 meters in a single operation. The river that once isolated inland regions became a controlled commercial artery. The monitoring system. But controlling a river this powerful requires constant vigilance. The Three Gorges Dam is embedded with thousands of monitoring instruments. These sensors measure internal stress within the concrete, temperature variation, seepage pressure, joint displacement, and structural deformation. If a section shifts by mere millimeters, engineers know. Seismic monitoring stations surround the reservoir. The immense weight of stored water can alter stresses in the Earth's crust, a phenomenon known as reservoir-induced seismicity. Small tremors have been recorded in the region, and ground movement is continuously tracked. Along the reservoir's steep banks, GPS systems and slope sensors monitor landslide-prone areas. When water levels fluctuate, saturated slopes can destabilize. Landslides not only threaten nearby communities, but also generate surge waves within the reservoir. Satellite-based radar systems, using interferometric synthetic aperture radar technology, measure minute surface deformations in the dam and surrounding terrain. These measurements detect shifts invisible to the naked eye. Water levels are constantly calculated. Inflow from upstream rainfall, snowmelt, and tributaries is modeled in real time. Outflow through turbines and spillways is adjusted accordingly. Every gate opening is deliberate. Too much release and downstream flooding becomes a risk. Too little and pressure accumulates behind the wall. The dam does not operate passively. It is actively managed, hour by hour. Controversies and risks. Despite its engineering achievements, the Three Gorges Dam has remained controversial. More than 1.3 million people were relocated to make way for the reservoir. Entire towns and villages were submerged. Thousands of cultural and archaeological sites were lost beneath rising water. Environmental impacts have also been significant. Sediment that once flowed downstream now settles in the reservoir, altering ecosystems and affecting fisheries. Changes in sediment transport have implications for riverbanks in the Yangtze Delta. Landslides have occurred along the reservoir's edges, prompting additional relocations in some areas. There are also ongoing debates about seismic risk. While some researchers have suggested that large reservoirs can influence fault stress, there is no conclusive evidence linking the Three Gorges Dam to major destructive earthquakes. Chinese authorities maintain that the structure was designed to withstand extreme flooding and significant seismic events. What is undeniable, however, is the scale of oversight. A structure this large cannot be left to assumption. It must be observed. The Three Gorges Dam is a triumph of modern engineering. It generates enormous amounts of electricity. It reduces flood risk along one of the world's most volatile rivers. It reshaped China's inland shipping network. But it's also a reminder of the cost and responsibility that come with altering nature at this scale. Nearly 40 billion cubic meters of water rest behind a wall of concrete that is measured, scanned, and analyzed every day. As long as the Yangtze flows through those turbines and spillways, engineers will keep watching. Because when you build something powerful enough to control a river like this, failure is not an option, and vigilance becomes permanent.